Welcome to the underground. If you've been led here today, I feel like I have some messages for you. What we're going to do today is pick 7 pieces, 7 of my sculptures that relate to tarot. I have 79 pieces, 78 traditional and 1 extra piece. Then we'll clarify with some tarot cards and pull an oracle card at the end. Okay, Sagittarius, time to do your January reading. You're my people. I'm a Sag in 3 places. Curious to see what's going to happen. So I like to do something special for every sign. You are the seers, and I happened upon this passage in a book. The book's called Techniques of Ecstasy, Shamanism and the Modern Artist by Mark Levy. Great book. It's kind of one of the books that got me started on tarot because it talked about different divination tools. So I'm going to read this little part to you. It's about seeing going beyond thinking. In seeing, there's more than the eye registers. It is the mind that sees. Seeing is the mind revealing itself. Seeing happens too fast to be analyzed by thought. But I have the intuition that seeing comes about through the accumulation of delight. Delight is more than pleasure, sometimes tinged with pain, in heartwarming, poignant, and astounding circumstances. Delight offers a mysterious hint from the unconscious. As delight follows delight, the mystery mounts and the hints, which at first could be ignored, become an ever-present haunt. This haunt contains a message that seeks to enter the consciousness through dreams, revelatory events in the outer world, and in art. I love this. Sage is the seer. It's talking about seeing, and that seeing is not about the eye, it happens in the mind. And some of the things I really like in here, because they relate to tarot, what I think about tarot anyway, is that things come from the unconscious, mysterious hints, and that the mystery mounts and the hints, and sometimes we ignore them. We don't really see them. But after a while, they become a haunting. This haunting contains a message, and that's what we're doing here in tarot. We're looking for messages, and they can seek to enter the consciousness through our dreams. Dreams are very important to me. I write dreams down almost every night, sometimes after a nap. So maybe the other thing I like is when I do these special things for each sign, it's very interesting to see if they connect later on with the pieces that I pull and the cards and the oracle card. See if there's some kind of synchronicity. Usually there is. To me, that's magic. Synchronicities are magic. They're not mistakes or coincidences. All right, so we're going to pull your 3 pieces. Well, actually, we're going to pull 7 pieces for you. So let's roll. I'm having trouble seeing this. That's a 0. It's a 0, and 0 is cool because we have the Fool as a 0. That's where we start counting. That's a 9. No reverses because we have the problem and the solution. 35. $64, right? No, that's 74. 79 pieces in total. I have an extra piece I created. Uh-oh. 70, 71. 74 we had first, now we have 71. Knocked over this piece here. This here, I'm just working on this. It's going to be a Sag piece because of strength. I don't think it'll be Leo, the strength piece. It'll just be about fighting for what's important. Kind of like the 9 here, this perseverance. Yeah, these are all Sag pieces, the 8 and the 9 of Wands. So we need 2 more pieces. This will be number 6. That's 40. And 31. Okay. So that's all the pieces. What I'll do is I'll take 3 out, move the camera so we can see them really good, then bring the other 3 and the last piece at the end. Then we'll clarify with some cards and get an oracle card. All right, be right back. Here we are. Here's your pieces. I bet you can guess a couple of these. But take a sec, use your eyes, see what you think. You know what's going on in your life. Maybe you already have a little scenario forming. I'll tell you real quick what they are here. These are my interpretations, of course. Some differ more than others from the traditional. First one on the left is the 2 of Cups. Pretty obvious, but not what you usually see in tarot cards. The centerpiece is the 9 of Swords. Certainly not what you're used to seeing. The 9 of Swords is somebody, usually a woman, I believe, with 9 swords all around her in her head. She can't sleep, being tormented mentally. And I'll remind you that in the spread, these are the problem pieces. The third piece on the left, I bet you know that's a Chariot. Maybe not. Could wonder where the horses are. All right, I'm going to tell you what I think, what we have here. The 2 of Cups is the Lover's piece in the minor arcana. So far we have 1 major arcana, the Chariot. But the 2 is a minor, but it's about partnership. Lovers could be friendship, family. And then I think about the liquid in the cups, because the liquid is about our feelings, represents our feelings as a symbol. So since it's a problem, maybe there's a bit of drunkenness going on. Maybe there's had too much of something, too many feelings, too many emotions, drunk with emotions. See, now that goes with the centerpiece, being drunk with emotions, except it's not emotions. The 9 of Swords is all about being in our heads. Now we're fire signs, so it could be a little different for us, but then again, it's based on what else is in our charts. I have air in my moon. And the 9 of Swords is an air piece, Gemini. So you should definitely do your chart. I left a link to a free website where you can get your natal chart done. So with the 9 is not only Gemini, but it's Mars. And Mars is about war. It's almost like there's a war going on in our mind. Negative thinking can bring on sleepless nights, dreams, nightmares, very heavy energy. So to be a problem, this is a piece definitely speaks to that. But what is it? What's the problem here? You probably already know. As we go along, maybe it'll come out. Could be more than one problem. We'll see. We'll see what else we get. But with the Chariot, which is a Cancer piece, so far we have quite a bit of water, and we also have, because the Chariot's Cancer, and we also have air. So water and air. But the Chariot could be about competition and love, since this is the problem area here we're looking at. Could be a reflection, though, about how we feel about ourselves. Might not be feeling that great right now with these problems. Might feel a bit insecure, have some fears. Fear is a weird thing. Sometimes we don't even know we're fearing things. We could do a whole video just about fear. But the Chariot has so many meanings. It's pretty fiery energy. It's about having control. You have to have control of the horses. You have to keep them together because they're not one mind. They're 2 different minds, 2 different horses. They're wild animals. Takes skill. Here, maybe they ran off. And what's good's a Chariot without the horses, right? And then also could be about giving up. And again, we'll see what else comes up here. But that could be definitely a problem. All right. I'm going to go to your next pieces. Probably have to move the camera. So hold on. I think I'll put them in front so you can see them better. Okay, looks pretty good to me. Again, you might be able to guess a couple of these here. Definitely the center. That's the wheel. Oh, I see I made an error here, though. Okay, I have to move something. Okay, sorry about that. I'm also sorry I gave away the outcome piece. So we have here is the Nine of Wands. That's Sagittarius. You showed up. I always love when that happens. And then we go to the wheel in the center. The wheel is also related to Sagittarius because it's Jupiter. And then we go to the Magician. Pretty obvious, right? A little silly maybe, but gotta have fun once in a while. That's Mercury, another major. So how many majors we have here? We have the Chariot, the Wheel, and the Magician. We have 3 now. That's half the pieces. That's pretty strong energy here. Now remember, these are the solution pieces. So, how could the Nine of Wands be a solution when it's usually about being tired after going through 1 through 8, through all the challenges in life and battles? Well, it's very simple. It's all about perseverance and not giving up. That's a great solution. Being a Sag, you know that you don't give up easy. In fact, I don't know if you ever give up. I've had a few readings lately about acceptance, and being a Sag, I can't. I have a hard time dealing with acceptance. I'd rather fight on, and I sometimes do even after I should stop. Maybe you can relate to that. So if we look at these, the other thing about the Nine of Wands is it means you're almost there. It's been a long battle, a long road, but you're almost there with a 9. One more and you're at 10. 10's the culmination. And this thing we're talking about being at a 9 and then going to the wheel. The wheel is all about change. It's about change, about that wheel turning. It's both a 10 and a 1. The actual number of the piece, you see the X on it, is a 10. So that's completion. But a 10 is also a 1 and a 0, and if you add them up, you're at a 1. This could be beginnings and endings. And because it's Jupiter, it's about good fortune. So whatever the problems were that we talked about in the beginning, you're moving in the right direction with this wheel. It's about changes for sure, and it could even be consequences of changes of the things that have happened in the past. Or it could be you creating change that brings the consequences you want. And then that brings us to the Magician perfectly. Big segue here. Creating your own change. The Magician's all about manifesting. It's Mercury, which is about the conscious mind. You can conjure or mix up all 4 elements with the Magician. And then take those, whatever you mix up, whatever you're manifesting, and assimilate that into your real life. So, I'm kind of wondering if I should recap now or go to the last piece. Yeah, let's go to the last piece. I'm just going to hold it up. Let me get it. You might have been able to read that, the 8 of Cups. And this is your outcome piece. So after all these problems, we go to solutions, and here we are at the outcome, the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups, if you remember, is the card that shows someone walking away from the cups. They're back towards the cups. And you can see up in the sky this moon, the sun and moon, like what we see here. I think it faces that way. And when the moon is about mysteries and darkness, things happening in the shadows that aren't quite clear. But then the sun always comes out every day and brings illumination to whatever the problems are. We always have to remember that. And to me, that goes along with the wheel here, and it goes along with the magician who can manifest the changes we want. Now, the Eight of Cups is Pisces, but it's Jupiter again. And Jupiter again is a good fortune and relates to Sag. And it's also Neptune because of water. This is a water sign. We still don't have Earth in here anywhere. There's no Earth. We have all the elements except Earth. So it might need some grounding. It's best to have a good balance. You need all the elements, and maybe we'll get that when we clarify with some cards. So the 8 is about changes too. It can be about changes in the home life. It doesn't always have to be what a lot of readers typically say is somebody's walking away. Even if it's walking away, that could work. They could walk away and make a big circle and come back around again. That's another way a change happens. Secular. Could also mean travel. Just walking away, walking. Could be traveling towards something, moving towards something. And water's about emotions. So it's our emotions changing, moving. And maybe we need to move away from material concerns. Worry too much about the house, the money, the car, work, and, focus more on feelings, emotions, love. I mean, this reading here, there's a lot of water. It doesn't feel like a love reading, but when you start off with Two of Cups, it sure could be. You know best. Yeah, and we have all this water. So it also could be about, the typical card is someone moving away. Could be moving to a new house even. But at the same time, when we walk somewhere, we're leaving something else behind. We're going from one place to another. So this could be about leaving things behind that aren't good for us. And if we're not, maybe we should be. So a couple other thoughts on this. The Two of Cups is about give and take in a union, and emotions, give and take of emotions. It could be also earthly things, but these are cups, so. And that connects back to the reading about seeing with our minds. We don't see with our eyeballs, we see with our minds, our thoughts. Then we have to think about, well, what are thoughts and emotions? I mean, what comes first? Something happens to you, you feel it, and that becomes a thought, right? It's a feeling, then it's a thought. But I guess it can happen the other way around. You could just think things, they might not even be true. You could be imagining things. Say you haven't talked to somebody in a while, you wonder what they're doing, you could be thinking the worst. So we have to get a better balance with that. And that's, that's what the Magician's about. Could be the Chariot, could be about not giving up. That we're almost there with the 9 here. The 9 of Wands, our peace. Then again, we could have change on our minds. Maybe we want to change. We want to manifest something different. And that way we'll feel better through our thoughts. And we can't forget spirit in all this. When you have the wheel, you have all these major arcana, spirit's involved. And with the wheel, it's going to change whether you want to or not. In fact, it could be you're putting off something, your person's putting off something, change is needed, and maybe somebody was sitting back, looking away, not doing the work, and the wheel comes along and everything changes anyway. There's a lot of fiery energy here. Definitely have the juice to get done whatever you want. You are a Sagittarius after all. So I'd say the outcome is to make a change for the benefit of all the people involved. Could be the lover, could be a family, maybe it's our country. We're all interconnected. There's some crazy stuff going on lately, a lot of, what would you call it, polarization. And there's talk of coming together. Sounds like a great idea. It's harder than it sounds. But in our minds and our hearts, asking spirit, we can have that outcome come true. So it might be physical travel. We are tired of being indoors. Everybody is stuck with these restrictions, especially Sag. Sags are the explorer, the adventurers, long distance travelers, world travelers, and they're the seers, travel of the mind. So these restrictions could be throwing us out of whack a little, but we can do it. We can bring it back to balance, consider ourselves better. There's a lot of ways of doing that. We'll pull some cards to clarify. Maybe we'll get some advice. Let's see what we get. Hold on, let me move things back so I can fit some cards in here. Okay, I think I made enough room here. I'm going to go on the side and shuffle a couple more times. I shuffled while I was off camera. I tried to make it look good for you, Sag. I know you have very discerning taste, very creative people. A lot of artists, designers, all creative arts. I've met a lot of people during my lifetime who were artists, you know, one sort or another. And many of them were Sag. A lot were Leos too. Fire signs are very creative. It's funny how tarot knows that. I mean, the cards are designed that way. The meanings are designed that way. All right, let me shuffle a couple times and we'll clarify. I'm going to think about what to clarify while I'm shuffling. I'm using the Hermetic Tarot deck. Black and white, hand drawings. Pretty cool. I think we have a lot of color here. Alright, I'm going to try to get a popper here. What are we going to clarify? I'd like to clarify one of the problem pieces and one of the solution. I keep looking at the Two of Cups. Let's clarify the Two of Cups. Alright, we got one. The Three of Wands. Three of Wands. Looks pretty good. Three of Wands, but it's in reverse. Let me show it to you upright, because these cards are pretty wild. See what we can see here. Hand with three wands. Looks like the sun at the top. Is that a ram's head? Lord of established strength. Fire sign. Again, I guess this is Aries. Yeah. And got the flames going. I don't know what's at the top of these wands. It looks like plants sprouting. Yeah, the sun. Like the way it looks. I'll leave it upright, but we have to remember it's in reverse. Now, you know, the Three of Wands is usually a guy standing there with his back turned to us, or like 3/4, has his hand on a wand, two other wands, one stuck in the ground. He's looking out at the water, waiting for the ships to come in, people say. Oh boy. In reverse, this has something to do with conceit, or being rude, insolent, obstinate. You know, fire signs are sometimes called stubborn, obstinate. This could even be a card of treachery. So, geez, that's pretty heavy stuff. Clarify what's going on with the Two of Cups. There's been some kind of treachery. Somebody's being rude or conceited. That would hint at there being a blockage in my mind, that things are not, anybody acts like that, there's definitely going to be a fight with a Sag. Somebody's rude or obstinate can be stuck, you know, through being stubborn, stuck in their ways. Doesn't sound like a fire sign to me, being stuck in their ways. So Might just be, instead of what we talked about earlier, moving forward, like the Eight of Cups there, traveling, like the Chariot, moving away, moving towards something. We're being obstinate. Somebody is. Could be your person though, obviously. You know best. All right, let's get one more. We'll clarify. Let's clarify the wheel. I keep looking at it, can't help it. It's probably just because it's in the middle, it's round, it's colorful. Whoop, all right, almost got too many there though. Seems to want to pop right out today. It's a nice deck. Okay, let's clarify the wheel for Sag. Okay, here we got one. Oh boy, Death came out. That's so obvious. I mean, the wheel's about change, coming whether we want it or not. It's the same, it's just a confirmation. Death is not about death. It's about transforming. Take a look. There's a lot going on in this card. Cracked skulls. Some kind of, looks, yeah. That skull that's the devil with a little goatee, I guess. Creepy insects. That's the, is that a crab or something? I don't know. I guess it could be. Cancer. Looks like little bones, shattered pieces, little weapons. So there's a snake slithering over there. Check that out. And look what it says. Child of the great transformers. Why the child? Why the child? Are we the child? Are we the children? Children of the night? So anyway, like I said, for the wheel, it's just an obvious confirmation. Change is going to happen. If you feel like change isn't happening, oh boy, stubborn. I want to see that word transformation. All right, I'll move the camera. I don't care. Spirit's coming in. There's going to be change. If it hasn't already happened, it's coming. You know, prepare yourself. Do the right thing. You have free will, so you can make changes. Maybe you could put this change off or change, like the magician, manifest the change that you want. You take control. Take control of the horses on the chariot. You're in power. You always are. You're in charge of your own destiny. All right, we're going to pull one card. I'm going to use Moonology. Seems like the right thing to do here. I like the way this looks. A lot of fire. This is definitely your reading. There should be some messages in here for you, Sag. At least some of you Sages. You know, I hope to get little pieces of messages. I don't expect it to ring true from beginning to end, or, I mean, we have to combine these tidbits with other things happening in our life. Like it said, our dreams, song lyrics, things we're already thinking about. Maybe weird things that happen in our life, something with animals or children or something we hear or overhear. Actual signs. I've had signs that said exactly what I needed to hear, like in the subway. All right, I shuffled a couple times. I'm going to try to get a popper. One card for Sagittarius. What does Sag need to hear? Let's get some guidance, some advice. One card, please. I like to get poppers. I feel like Spirit's involved then. It's not me picking cards. All right, we got one. That's more of a flyer. At least land on the table. A win-win outcome is forecast. All right. It's Libra, it has the scales. Check this beauty out. Oh boy. Sorry, I have to get something here. You know what? I'll use the dice. There we go. Pretty cool. Okay, I want to find it in the book and read to you. Keep it short. Full moon, it has a section on full moon in order. Here it is. I'll show it to you. Maybe you want to take a screenshot. The crazy blue light's coming from my window. The sun is changing, it's moving, or are we moving, right? Okay, a win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra. The full moon in Libra, the sign of partnership, of falling in love, and of closely relating to someone else. Since full moons are about climaxes and conclusions, this card suggests you either are about to start a new relationship or that an important existing relationship is somehow changing, perhaps coming to an end or moving to a new level of commitment. That's what we've been talking about here. I love when there's synchronicities. We had the wheel, the magician, the chariot, a lot of changing going on here. And beginnings and ends, 10 and a 1. So then it says, it's important to remember that people come to us for a reason, and sometimes just for a season. If a relationship is ending now, it's doing so at the right time, so try not to fight it. This card can also refer to a professional relationship. There is a sense that you need to balance your ego with someone else's needs. Thinking of other people besides ourselves. We talked about that. Greater good. A win-win outcome is possible with give and take. Doing so might be the answer to your question. See now, I think Sag are very good at wanting to talk things through to get to a good outcome. Not just run off, without saying anything, saying the things you need to say that you want to say to make things better. Okay, a couple little things here. Attune to the moon. Let go of that which is falling away. Additional meanings for this card. See the other person through the eyes of love. It will change your perspective. Sometimes hard to do when somebody hurts you, but love, love, love. It's the answer. It's time for you to make a firm decision. Time for you to focus on yourself for a while. Look after yourself, but avoid vanity. Now is a great time for a makeover. All right, shopping in your future. Hairdo, I don't know, clothes, new shoes. Could be a mental makeover. Do some reading, meditating, chanting, automatic writing, chanting. Did I say chanting? Anyway. All right. I'm a Sag, so I'm going to listen to this reading again later. Heard some really good stuff in here. Thanks for coming. It's a new channel, so please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Love y'all.